talk about this list that was released from NFL execs and head coaches on which quarterback they would choose to start a franchise with today. And I think some of the quarterbacks that we're talking about are incredibly disrespected and underappreciated. And some of these guys, I do not even think should be on the list at all. All right, so let's talk about this quarterback situation. The Athletic, they did this poll with NFL execs and NFL head coaches about which quarterback in the NFL they would take if they were starting a franchise right now, which quarterback they would pick at their current point in their career, okay, as they are now. So not all of them as a rookie, but as they are right now, who would you take, considering age, considering skill, everything? This is what we got. Josh Allen at the top, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, okay? Not really surprising there. The biggest surprise to me, I would say, is Lamar Jackson had half as many votes as Jayden Daniels, which I think is a little bit wild considering we've seen one season of Jayden Daniels. Granted, it was awesome. I think we've seen a lot of consistency from Lamar Jackson. Any other things surprise you on this list or, that you take away from it?
That's the biggest one. I mean, you can't – look, I'm not a Ravens fan whatsoever, being a Browns fan.
Yeah,
but
same.
I think as time has gone on, I'm becoming more of a Lamar fan just solely due to the fact that he's one of those guys that he's always doubted in such a crazy way for how much he's produced, how much he does for that organization and that team. It's incredible to see just the negativity toward him. And like, we're only just now seeing that with Justin Herbert. Yeah, he's got a crazy skill set, Justin Herbert. And he seems like he's had such a long runway to develop and get wins and get playoff wins. I mean, as has Lamar, but at the same time, the level of production has been off the charts for one and not so much for the other. And just the doubting is getting to be a little absurd, I think. Yeah, he needs to win a playoff game. But
so does Josh Allen. So does Joe Burrow. None of those guys have Super Bowls.
Like, well, I mean a playoff win. Like Lamar needs to rack those up. The other two guys definitely have playoff wins. But for all intents and purposes, he's outside of the one run for the Bengals and Joe Burrow making it to the Super Bowl and ultimately losing. Yep. He's right on par with Joe. So with that level of production and how good of a team they are and how good of a coaching staff and continuity they have, similar to like the Steelers and everything like that, but they probably do it better over the past 10 years. He's going to get it. They're going to make a run. Their defense is going to be on top of the world. So I'm getting a little frustrated, even as a Browns fan, seeing the hate or just the lack of support. I think, respect. Thank you for Lamar.
Yeah. It's quite ridiculous actually. And then there's these people also saying like, well, he's just like a running back that can kind of like, Lamar has gotten way better in the He take away his running ability. He's still up there. It's just ridiculous. Here's another one that I think is ridiculous on this list. Trevor Lawrence? What is that? Liam Cohen probably pulled. Whoa,
right or not.
I love the Baker votes. Mikey, would you go Baker? He's probably
there should be some more Baker votes in there. I think he should be higher in the list. I think he's still a little bit overlooked.
Yeah, he is. Drake May.
It's the height thing. It's always the height thing. People can't get over this.
I know.
Scott.
I know. Crazy. How can you be a coach in the NFL and look at? There's more exceptions to the height rule as quarterbacks than there are not in terms of great quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Yeah. Get over that, man. It's the weakest thing as a coach.
That's like a 1980s perspective. Yeah. He's not the prototype that we wrote down. Bo Nix, that's got to be Sean Payton. I respect the hell out of Sean Payton. Sean Payton has just gone to bat for Bo Nix, and I think that marriage is going to work out pretty well.
Yeah. What I love about that marriage and everything we've seen both of them bark at each other on the sideline. And especially for a rookie coming into his second year, being able to do that in his rookie year, to bark back at a Super Bowl winning coach, the offensive guru as he is, and having that sort of the gumption to do that is impressive. So I think there's a level of respect between those two that's incredibly high, and it's come at such an early point. I mean, you could see it kind of with Dan Quinn and Jayden Daniels as well. Granted, Dan's a defensive minded dude, but at the same time, like there's a level of respect there that I don't think is necessarily lauded as much as it should be. Going back to this though, I think what's so frustrating to me is that everybody sees Jayden had an insanely good year. Obviously, making it to the conference championship game and doing all he did in that rookie season is insane. CJ Stroud did it the year before, so these guys, they deserve to be on this list for sure because of the potential that they've or the quality that they've shown so far, plus the potential that it could be much higher. Yep. But I think with the Jayden Daniels thing, everybody was likening him to a Lamar Jackson, and because he got those wins early, they're thinking he's already surpassed Lamar in some way, shape, or form. I think that's so false. So I think you flip those two, and this is a little more palatable. It's you can swallow it a little better, but I just, it frustrates me that after 1 year, people are just like, crown him right now. This guy's the next one, all that kind of stuff. That's what's so frustrating to me.
I agree with that. I mean, I think that's a little too much. Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. Did you guys watch that? Like, I almost teared up watching that Lee Corso tribute this weekend. Not to go back.
Yeah, that was a great send off. Great send off. I mean,
beautiful.
Yeah,
sad.
Yeah. Talk about going out on top. I mean,
yeah,
you could have used that argument. No, you could have used that argument 10 years ago for him. But
well, that's true. But
it's still beautiful.
He literally went out on top because all of the picks that he picked this weekend won.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
Or wait, what was it? Was it not? No, it was the Ohio State pick that won. What was it? It was all the teams he played for won. I don't know what it was. He did a good job. Come on. He's old, man. He's old.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
I concur.
I really practiced that segment. I was feeling really good about that. All right. Fox actually released their their power rankings for coming into week 1 of the NFL season. And you see right there, the Green Bay Packers are up there at 5. The Dallas Cowboys are, where are they? Where are the Cowboys?
They're above the Browns.
There they are, 19th. Geez, they got the 49ers at 18th. So let's talk about this actually. What do you guys think of this power ranking right here? What jumps out to me right away is Steelers at 6. What are we doing here? We haven't seen anything. Also, Bengals. I don't know, man. We'll see what that defense does. Offensively, yeah, top offense. Defensive, are they going to be a top 10 team? I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's so disrespectful to the Broncos that the Arizona Cardinals are above them.
Yeah,
and the Steelers technically. I think the Broncos are a sleeper pick here this year. That they're going to make an absolute tear. Bo Nix in year 2, Sean Payton, like, dude, they showed so much promise toward the end of the year and the back half of the year that I think they're going to take the NFL by storm this year and going to be a surprise. I think San Francisco is actually positioned perfectly. We were talking about Texas, UT Longhorns being number 1, and that was way too high. You almost want to be down a little bit. You want to be between 5 and 10 so that you can kind of get your feet underneath you and then start making the runs, as opposed to having the pressure right at the top. I think San Francisco is in that perfect position where they're going to start surprising people. The expectation is low. You exceed that expectation week in and week out.
Well, here's the other thing with San Francisco. They have literally the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. I mean, they're going to go 14-3 probably. I mean, so if they can stay healthy, San Francisco's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Commanders 7. Obviously, last year was awesome for them. And they did just sign Terry McLaurin to his deal. Good for him. I feel like they're going to take a step back. There's going to be maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump there. Maybe not necessarily a sophomore slump for Jayden Daniels, but I don't feel like the Commanders are going to be that NFC championship appearing team again this year. And you're right about the Broncos. They might win the NFC or AFC West.
Yeah.
Like, this might be the first time in how many years have the Chiefs won that in a row? It's like 8.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. It's like
something like that. So I'm very curious about them. And then, who I also think is going to be pretty good, sitting there at 11, Tampa Bay. They're gonna win that NFC South. And I don't know how hard their schedule is there, but Baker, I mean, he's prime. Baker might go off and have like an MVP type season. I feel like that's.
I love Baker. I think at this point in his career and how he's matured and like he's seasoned, he's been through all his crap. Like, I think he's an incredible leader now at this point. Like, I think he'd be a fun quarterback and leader to have on your team.
Yeah. This is the kind of guy you want leading your team in the NFL. I feel like he's had to go through struggles that a lot of guys who are fighting to be on rosters have gone through. I mean, he was at the but even more so because he was at the top of the top, being the first round draft pick, all that kind of stuff, and then falling for all intents and purposes and having to find a way back and climb back. And the way he's done it has been incredibly impressive. And I think he's found a spot where they love him and he loves them. And it's the perfect match. And I think he is poised to lead the team to a serious run this year. I mean, you got Evans, who's just been racking up 1,000-yard seasons like it's nothing.
Yeah,
he's got weapons. So I'm going to be excited to see what Baker does this year.
You know who Baker Mayfield is? He's Robert Downey Jr. Okay, first overall pick. Robert Downey Jr. had that movie Chaplin, really well received. Had a fall off. Coming back, Tampa Bay. This is his Iron Man era. Okay. I think that Baker is Robert Downey Jr. That's my comparison. Talking here about
do more actor comparisons.
Oh, I love doing it. I can do that.
I think that's actually really interesting.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun to do those. Do you guys have any?
Yeah.
Do you have any other actor or quarterback? Movie star to quarterback comparisons. Think about that for a sec.
I'm gonna say because that 32 ranking right there was really hurtful to see. I'm going to say Joe Flacco is in his Daniel Day-Lewis era right now, and he's going to come out with, he's going to come out with a serious act. Well, maybe not There Will Be Blood. He used that one for the Super Bowl win back in the day.
True.
But I think he's coming out with, what was it, Threads or the Taylor one? Where
Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread.
Yep. I think he's coming out for one of those just methodical, beautiful performances that's going to get him some hardware.
There you go. Daniel Day-Lewis, he's coming out. He's out of retirement. He has a new movie coming out, directed by his son. Talk about nepotism. But, I mean, hey, it's fair. All right.
Sticking with the best person for the job.
It's Michael Scott's nephew. All right. This quarterback conversation, I mean, we're going to come back at some point and do more movie star to quarterback comparisons because that's fun. But, Scott, I'm sorry. We always got to rope in the Browns a little bit here. Some Browns disrespect. Here's a quarterback that I think none of us would want to start a franchise with. And nobody in the NFL or everybody in the NFL feels the same way. Johnny Manziel going on this podcast and talking horribly about the Browns. Listen to this.
I sit here today and I go back and forth with, am I going to let Cleveland off the hook and just like let it go? Or am I going to sit here with hate and animosity in my heart for the rest of my life? And I finally sit here today and I'm like, I think I'm going to be pissed at them and hate them forever. So it is what it is, man. No love for the Browns. I'm rooting for 0-16 seasons every season.
Damn.
Yeah. Damn. And it's just like, dude, what does he blame the Browns for? It's just like,
yeah, I know he's come out and he's taken personal responsibility for the lack of success he's had in the NFL and how unserious he took it in the opportunity that he had and all that kind of stuff. So he's come out and put that on the record. At the same time, this is kind of petty. It's like, yeah, the Browns, you were probably put in a very bad position, similar to Baker.
Baker's doing just fine. He bounced back.
Exactly. And I don't like comparing Baker to Johnny, but I'm just saying in terms of story, not character, they seem to be parallel, but one just decided to go in the right direction and pursue certain things, and the other one decided to go in the opposite direction. And we're seeing where those things ended up. So to look at it and point to an organization, I'm sure Baker doesn't necessarily have the fondest memories of Cleveland either, because there are rumors that he was pushed out by a certain head coach or so on and so forth. That's all speculation. But at the end of the day, he's put his head down and he's gotten himself, like we were just talking about, back to the top of the league, back in the conversation, back as a contender, and back as a high quality competitive player at quarterback. So like, it's just a tale of two cities here with Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield. And I only compare them based on story and perception.
You know why Baker's able to do that? Is because he was a walk-on once upon a time. That's why. He's got that inside. He can overcome and fight through adversity. That's why.
Yeah.
But Johnny had to be a walk-on, like Baker. He would be able to bounce back.
Overcome this adversity.
Yeah. That's my opinion.
I hope that Baker Mayfield wins a Super Bowl and they make a movie about him. This is like what a story, actually. Yeah. What a story. I know he when he was a little bit younger, like had some immature stuff. Don't we all? And he's like he's matured now. He's a franchise quarterback. What was he? He was on 4 teams till he finally found this home here in Tampa Bay, got the contract. He's married. He's got a child. He's saying all the right stuff. Cool guy, seems like. I'm rooting for Baker.
Yeah, absolutely. And people generating their own brand and social media brand, and especially for guys who have finished playing, like that's their lane. That's what they're trying to do. I think I got to give a little rope to Johnny. I don't want to dunk on him too much because, like I said, he has put it on the record that he's taken responsibility for certain things. He's probably saying a lot of this stuff to get the hype, to get generation to his podcast and all that kind of stuff. So tongue in cheek.
Yeah. I also, you could tell he's kind of a little bit in character with what he was wearing during the podcast. True. And also, did he get veneers? It looked like, but I never support anybody who, when talking about situations in life, goes, it is what it is, man. That is, what does that mean? Oops, that doesn't mean anything. That's nothing.
That's one of my least favorite phrases.
Yeah.
It is what it is. What is it? Do something about it, or stop talking about it. Gosh, this is interesting. Okay. And this is something like, this is kind of unique to the new age of professional sports and athletes who have podcasts and are really in the media world as well. And Micah Parsons obviously has his own podcast. And we were trying to speculate about all the things that are going on with that trade, Cowboys trading Micah to the Packers and everything. And there's all these rumors and whispers. And Mike is actually maybe causing some problems off the field. Apparently, Micah's podcast rubbed people the wrong way and created issues in the locker room. Here, I'll read this. It says that go all the way up to quarterback Dak Prescott. For those just listening, as we said, the pace of negotiation wasn't wholly dissimilar from what we witnessed with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, or even Zach Martin the year before that. Once the team arrived in California for camp in 23 and 24, the negotiations were put on the back burner the same way Parsons were this summer, basically sending the message that if a deal isn't done that works for the team early, the player has to wait. That said, there's a difference between this negotiation and the previous 3. Martin, Lamb, and Prescott were very popular in the locker room. That's not the case with Parsons, who has rankled teammates in different ways, seen by some as egotistical and self-centered. His podcast has created issues too that go all the way up to quarterback Dak Prescott. Some of it spilled into Parsons' play. Previous defensive staffs had trouble with him at times because he would play out of structure in an effort to make big plays, which led to their run defense issues Jerry and Stephen Jones kept referencing at their press conferences. This is interesting, because I think this makes a lot of sense. I mean, for how great Micah is, for just looking at the on-field stuff, for how great he is at pass rushing and in the pass game, you can kind of run at him. I mean, he is a little bit smaller. He's slightly, you could argue, slightly undersized, and like that's not his strength there. But the fact that we're hearing that he would play out of structure to try and create big plays for himself. This is a guy who has a podcast, likes the spotlight on himself. It's like, I'm not doing what the defensive scheme calls for. I'm going to just go in here and try and get a sack. Stuff like that coming out of the woodwork. What do you guys make of it?
It's crazy how playing like that works, and he got a huge contract. It works. It's crazy. And then you look at, like, you can talk like crap about it all you want, but it's like, if that leads you to this kind of contract, do it. You look at like Kyle Van Noy. Okay, he had 12 sacks last year. He's paid $4 million a year. Micah Parsons had 12 and a half sacks, and he has this contract. It's
$47 million.
$47 million.
It's 12 times as
much. 12 times the money for another half a sack.
Yeah.
That's a great point. It's almost like he used the Cowboys as an FCS school stepping stone to go get his big NIL deal at LSU or something. Scott?
What's interesting too is like for defensive ends today's day and age, it seems like this is kind of more of the norm. I mean, we always hear about even oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Raiders defensive end.
Max Crosby.
Condor. Yeah. Max Crosby does the exact same thing. He just got broke off too, and he got a massive contract. I mean, he was the highest paid for 2 minutes before Myles Garrett and Micah. So, like having that freedom to cause chaos with guys that are that athletic and that effective isn't the wildest thing. I think this is great PR damage control by the Cowboys. Like 100%, this is what's going on. Is they're trying to make themselves look as good as possible. This was a logical move that needed to be made because there were ruptures that people aren't seeing, which probably is true to a certain extent, but how they're pumping it up might be just a masterful marketing campaign by the Cowboys and Jerry Jones to make it look as though this decision was better than it seems on paper.
I wouldn't put that past Jerry. I mean, he is, he's media savvy, I would say.
Yeah.
A storyteller, if you will. I do think the interesting thing is like the podcasts, because that was actually something that I was always worried about when I was doing like playing in Germany and doing my videos and my vlogs and stuff, and really worried about being a distraction or if the coaches didn't like. And I talked to Jordan, like our head coach that I just got a few times, like, are you sure you're okay with this? Like, I'm trying to do it all in a way that's like not a distraction for the team or make any of my teammates feel like I'm a distraction. But it was like really something on my mind, because I think that kind of stuff, any sort of media stuff, can really quickly become that. And Micah kind of fired off on his podcast sometimes. I don't know if he like directly criticized his teammates, but might have been, of course, criticized the organization. Yeah. And that can for real cause a problem immediately in the locker room, right?
Yeah. But the podcast is just a tool, and it's how you use it. Like, you can use the podcast to really increase the brand and increase everything while still building your own personal brand. And when you're away from the team, you break it off and make it more personalized. But like the way that Nick used it drew so many eyes to the Unicorns and propped up the Unicorns almost too much, to a point where they got too cocky and they thought it was all because their front office was so good. Look at all this attention we're getting. And they like discredited the media attention from that podcast and the YouTube stuff,
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So that's actually exactly what happened. I was giving them Dallas Cowboys spotlight on the German Football League scale.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, free marketing for the team. You were giving them that, so that's probably. And then they took it to the nth degree, thinking that they were generating it. But with the Cowboys, I think it's the reverse. I mean, similar.
I do think it's the reverse.
Yeah, because the Cowboys are the Cowboys, with or without Micah. They're going to be fine. They're going to be known. They're going to be at the top of the food chain in the NFL and valuation and everything like that. So I think when it comes to the podcast, like, obviously you need to be as salacious as possible. You need to be as like sticky as possible. You need to say the craziest things in order to grow quicker and quicker, because that's just the attention span of so many people these days. It's like they need something so unique and off the wall, regardless of it being true or whatever. I think that's partly what Micah might have been chasing and is chasing with a podcast on the side. And yeah, sometimes his players may feel like they've been thrown under the bus or put in the crosshairs of what he has to say, even though it's his personal thing. It's just you're increasing the number of times that happens every time you have a personal podcast. Whereas like in the past, it used to just be, okay, at the podium, you may have said something, or in the locker room post game, and that was it. Like you wouldn't have all of these extra opportunities to say something that a teammate may find abrasive or negative toward them or anything like that. Now that creates so much more fuel to light a flame in the locker room and just destroy it. So I get why this probably has an element of truth to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about this. Like, if it's the 90s and you got a problem with the way somebody's playing on your team, or a problem with somebody, you're going to say it in the locker room if you're going to say it. Nowadays, you can go be passive aggressive on a podcast and kind of be like, your teammate, are you talking about me, bro, on your podcast? Like, it can be like that.
Oh, that? No, I was talking about a different Dak Prescott.
A different number 4.
Different one. So that's but with all that being said, and any criticism that we want to throw the way towards Micah, he got exactly what he wanted. Yeah. Even if he was playing selfishly, if he was ruffling feathers with his podcast, he was building his brand, and he got big plays, splashy plays, and look what he has now. He's dancing around in his house screaming, "I'm rich." Did you see that video?
Yeah. Okay. So what Mikey's saying, what you were just articulating right there, I agree. He got what he wanted. He got what he needed, and he won. He ended up winning for all intents and purposes. He ended up at a great Super Bowl contender program.
Yes.
So it's like all things aligned for him. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, what do you value more? Is it strictly the dollar, or is it legacy? Like, we've talked about that back and forth. Yeah, a dollar is quite valuable. But at the end of the day, in the long run, like, how do you want to be remembered? There are two different sort of valuations you can add to this. And I while there may be there may have been good times in Dallas history with Micah and everything like that, I think souring with a huge program and fan base like the Cowboys is kind of akin to like LeBron James and what he did when he left Cleveland, and that sort of threw a rock in what could have been the GOAT, conversation. Nobody denying it, that he's the GOAT and everything like that. But I actually think that ruined it for him when he left that initial time, and that he had to join up with two other superstars to get what he was searching for and all that kind of stuff. So I yes, near term, and obviously because it's millions upon millions of dollars long term, I think Micah made the right decision for business. But at the end of the day, what does that mean for legacy and how he's going to be remembered? If he gets a Super Bowl, this is all a wash. Nobody cares. So,
well, there we have it. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will see you on the next one.